Good
Give us a
evening and
countdown.
welcome. There we go. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the College Football Pits Analysis. With firm yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and I got my partner in crime, Austin Williams from Sports Talk with Austin, as we'll be bringing you the Week 9 edition. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good, Jackson. You're quick on that trigger. I wasn't ready. I didn't get my looks ready. Gosh. Good thing you never worked with any big time actors. Good thing you only work with me. Because I
Yeah.
got to get my good looks ready.
Oh man. Well, I will say that we got a wild ride tonight.
Oh, yes, we do, Jackson. I mean, there's a lot of things happening in week 9, a lot of important, crucial turning point games. And what a great way to segue into that with a little Thursday night football CFP style or CFB with Syracuse at Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. That's huge.
A little Thursday night football action.
Well, Kyle McCord's been bringing some magic for Syracuse. I'm wondering if Ohio
Mhm.
State regrets running him off. And we see that Eli Holstein, the Alabama transfer, has been doing fantastically for Pittsburgh this season.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackson, this is a game. If you had told us in the preseason that Syracuse Pittsburgh was going to be a turning point game, we all would have been like, "That's a nice dream." But Syracuse and Pitt, they're a long way away. I would have told you Pitt's a little closer than maybe Syracuse, but I would have never thought this would have become a crucial turning point game, so to speak. A game that has a lot riding on it. Because the winner of this could be in the driver's seat to the ACC title game. And for Syracuse, it becomes even bigger because they've already got one loss, and that they need this win. But Pitt also, they've got a couple games left on their schedule too that are not guaranteed cinches, as you like to say. So they
Uh-huh.
also need to pick up a W here.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is a big game. Both teams need a win. It's at Pittsburgh. It's going to be at night on Thursday night, solo stage. I'll let you go first, Jackson.
I think Pittsburgh's going to win this one at home, and it's going to be a Pitt 28-17 victory.
I've thought about this for a little bit. I'm going Syracuse. I think I like what Kyle McCord's got. I know you say Pitt's where dreams go to die, but I think Kyle McCord and the Cardiac Oranges are going to find a way to get a W on the road on Thursday night. I'm going to go 34-31 Syracuse on the road.
Wow. It'll be a wild one either way. Well, Liberty's not going to the playoffs anymore.
I know.
But we
Not
got
after
your boys
tonight.
on a Friday night between the look as they go against the Boston College Eagles at Chestnut Hill.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see how we respond because we've come off a loss to Miami, a heart-wrenching, gut-punching loss. You know, we gave them everything we had and we fell short. Now it's a short week, short time to prepare. We're going to Chestnut Hill, not an easy environment to go and win at, against a physical Boston College team. Thomas Castellano, he's a really good quarterback, and our defense has been able to stop a nosebleed here lately. And we haven't been able to get any pressure on any quarterbacks. Mobile quarterbacks give us fits. I could see us losing this game. I really can. And the fact that Colin Lacey has decided to sit out the rest of the year, He's not going to the transfer portal. That I think they did confirm that he plans on being back next year, back healthy and ready to play. But he's going to be missed because Ja'Cory Brooks needs a second running mate, and that could be a big time effective. But with all that being said, Jackson, this is another like kind of must-win game for just morale for both teams. And
yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts, Jackson? Do you still have confidence in Louisville or Boston College, or have you lost all confidence?
I mean, they're obviously going to a bowl game, but they're not going to go to the ACC title. That's not happening.
No, not this year. Neither team will. That's why I'm kind of like this is just a momentum game, just for morale.
Yeah.
But I'll let you pick first, though, good buddy.
I think reluctantly I'm going to go with Boston College in a 28-24 victory.
Yeah, I can see that. I really want to go with Louisville, but I'm not confident in my boys right now. I'm going to agree with you, Jackson. Boston College, Chestnut Hill. I'm going to go BC in a 23-20 victory at home. And then we have an underrated matchup on a Friday night Mountain West. Boise State at UNLV. Jackson, you love you some Ashton Genty. Jackson,
Yep.
I'll let you take the floor on this. Take it away, good buddy.
This is basically a group of 5 game that's going to change things for everyone. You know, we don't know who's going to be the best ranked group of 5 team out of everyone involving like Boise State or UNLV, Army, and Navy. We don't know yet, but we'll definitely know after this week because next week, I believe, will be the first edition of the CF. No, that's not it. The first edition of the CFP rankings be November 5th. My mistake. I thought it was next week for some reason, but as we get closer, we're gonna know more. But Boise State, Boise State's looking pretty good. And you know, UNLV, they've been such a hell of a story. Yeah, they lost their QB. Oh, they're not going to do so hot anymore. They seem to be doing fine without them because they have adapted and overcame their situation.
And Rough Rider returns. Jackson says, "Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Rough Rider. Welcome in. We're a little late, but it's all right. We're here. Yes, thank you. We are here now. It is all good. The babies could stop crying now." And he says, "I'm pulling for Boise State." Yeah, I know a lot of people that are now. They're riding the Ashton Genty wave.
Oh yeah,
but I will say, talk about Pitt and Syracuse talk about that being a crucial ACC swing game. Jackson, this right here is going to determine who probably is the Group of 5 representative or the G4 representative. So it's one of them games, Jackson, where normally we would see this in the conference title game, but we're getting a special treat in the regular season. And Ashton Genty's quest for the Heisman continues on, but UNLV is out to prove with Barry Odom that they're not a fluke, that they're legit. Because if you look at their schedule, Jackson, we thought they beat a good Kansas team, right? And then it turns out, I know you don't like hearing this, Jackson, but Kansas ended up not being as good as we thought they were. Like, cover your ears, Jackson, because I know you love you some Jayhawks. But, well, Jackson, you did pick them to go to the Big 12 title game and win it, so.
True.
There might be some sore feelings, but and like for Boise, they almost beat Oregon, who's the number one team in the country, as we said. So a lot more people are thinking Boise's more the legit team than UNLV. That's what makes the game so important. Because if Boise wins, it confirms what we already know. But if UNLV wins, then it's like, oh, UNLV's for real. Not that Boise's not, but UNLV just beat a top 25 opponent, beat a top 20 opponent. It's gonna be interesting, and it's at home, Allegiant Stadium night. There's probably gonna be a lot of Rebels fans there, but Jackson, I think Ashton Genty and his pursuit for the Heisman continues on Friday night. I'm going Boise on the road. 30, 31-17.
I'm going to go Boise State on the road. 31-28.
We both had 31. Oh, boy. Talk about a momentum game. Go ahead, introduce it.
USC Rutgers. I really don't know what to say about the
11
Trojans. It's like they let the LSU game go to their head.
Lord have mercy, and it's 11 p.m. on Fox. Who's going to stay up and watch that?
Me.
Well, who am I kidding? I was going to say, who are we kidding, Jackson? We're sickos. We'll watch it. But let me ask you this, Jackson. Does USC, if they don't win this game, are they going to miss a bowl? Are they going to miss bowl season if they don't win this game?
Oh, man. It's panic time over in LA. I mean, honestly, this team cannot beat Maryland or Minnesota. What makes me think that they could beat Rutgers? I mean, I'm not saying they can't, but I'm not really convinced by this team.
I mean, like Jackson, you never want to say USC is going to miss a bowl, but if they don't win this game, they very well could. Like you said, the confidence is not very high. And like Jackson, what happened to Rutgers? They were 4-0, looking good. A lot of people thought they could be a dark horse in the Big Ten. What happened?
Hype is what happened.
I see. Because Jackson, you remember everyone started talking about them saying, "Oh, Rutgers could sneak in there and be like the Iowa," and we all thought like, that's kind of crazy. But their schedule does line up where they could win 9-10 games and sneak in to the Big Ten title game. And then Jackson, they looked pitiful after that Washington win. It's like they let the Washington win go to their head. Like they thought this was the Michael Penix Washington they beat.
Yeah. This is bad.
I'll say this, Jackson. The winner of this, I would say that this is going to be a momentum builder, but this may just be more for moral than anything for both of them. And Jackson, is it time for Lincoln Riley to get the hot seat talk come his way?
Unfortunately, yes.
So even if he makes a bowl issue, Jackson, you think the hot seat talks are going to continue to happen?
I mean, yeah, but you're not making it to the playoffs so far. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I will say this, though, Jackson. I know a lot of it will be pinned on Lincoln Riley, but we also got to think, too, Jackson. They're a really young team.
True.
And my question is, Jackson, I've heard this go around, and a lot of people have suggested this, but should they bench Miller Moss? Is he the problem?
It's a good question to wonder. I mean, it's all good questions because we don't know. But all I can say is it's disastrous.
Like Jackson, what would you do? Like, in that situation? Would you bench him or would you let him ride it out?
I would honestly ask about the QB situation, honestly.
Because honestly, Jackson, I get Noah Moss waited his turn, but if he's not it, he's not it. This isn't the giveaway candy store. This isn't Halloween, where we're not just going to give the candy out. I mean, I will say though, Jackson, I don't know who'd pick in this game. To be quite honest with you, I honestly do not. So you know what, Jackson, you go first again. So I'm sure you've already got your answer.
This is a tough one.
Oh wow, you're even stumped.
Mm-hmm.
That's rare. Hey Jackson, these two teams have got you that befuddled, huh? So it's not just me.
Mm-hmm. How about you go ahead?
Oh, flip it back on me. Oh, you know what, Jackson? It's at the Coliseum. I'll go USC. You know what? It's at the Coliseum. Maybe the time change will get to Rutgers. I'll go USC to win an ugly one, 26-21. To win an ugly one at home.
Mm. Even with our friends Adam Lamparello and Matt Zimmett talking about this game on Tuesday night, I'm still just confused on this game.
Come on, Jackson. You got to pick one. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, good buddy.
Honestly,
we can't leave the people hanging.
Chat, make it easier for me a little bit. Because right now, I think I'm going to say Rutgers 21-20.
Okay. Interesting. But that
I
was
just feel
the
like
Friday game.
USC is going to throw out another squeaker.
Give them anxiety. Oh, yeah. Good buddy.
Well,
And Rough Rider Returns says a perplexing game to pick. Agreed. And Dave Malinsky says USC. Okay. He's with me.
Yep.
And he says, I'm excited to talk football. I just got out of a boring meeting at the University of Minnesota. Well, at least I know we're getting a new women's gymnastic training site. They needed it. Wait. Hold on. Jackson, I don't mean to pause the interruption, but Dave, you were in a boring meeting with Minnesota, and that's all you got out of it? You couldn't come back and give us more like deets of whether PJ Fleck is going to roll the bolt next year? Come on. Like, seriously, you could have gotten us some scoops and brought it back to us.
That's all
Leaked it
right.
to us. What? Oh, come on.
It's all right, man.
Dave Valensky says boring. Oh, Jackson, they don't want to give us nothing good. See? And then Traveling Fools is here. Yo, Traveling Fools. Yo. Mr. Traveling Fools. And we have Pixton, Tim 97209. I'm driving home for the game. I'm a huge Oregon fan. I know the Ducks backwards and forwards. They cannot handle prosperity. Last time they were number one, it lasted a week. This time it will last a week. Oh boy. Well, we'll get to Oregon in a minute. Don't you worry. We're not going to skip Oregon. Once you know that. But Jackson likes to start from the noon games and go forward. But go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead. Apologies. A lot of comments. People love us.
Well, we got the Notre Dame Navy rivalry, which, as much as I love what Indiana's brought out this year, I think College Game Day should have gone to this game, but that's neither here nor there. This is basically a playoff elimination game, depending on who you are.
Yeah. And to your point, real quick, good buddy. I think the reason why they didn't go to this game is because it was in MetLife. They didn't want. They wanted. I think they try to be more college campus oriented. I even think that even Jeffrey from When We Talk Sports, who does a great job at the Indiana Voice of College Football, was even even said they probably would have gone to this game if it was an on-campus game instead of Washington, Indiana. But go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead.
Well, Notre Dame has rebounded nicely since that loss to Northern Illinois. Although I'll be honest, they shouldn't have been losing to Northern Illinois in the first place. But what's really helping them is that win over Texas A&M from week 1.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But as for Navy,
Yes.
they've been super impressive. I mean, I love what they brought out through the season. Their QB has been tremendous. How about their QB? Oh, man. Brian Newberry's been doing a pretty good job as head coach.
And Jackson, the one thing that concerns me about this matchup is the last 10 matchups, Notre Dame has dominated almost all of them, except 2017. And do you remember how many points Navy won by?
What year are we talking about?
So, Jackson, the last 10 matchups, Notre Dame has dominated them all. But the year they didn't, they lost in 2017.
That was 2016.
No, 17, right? 17.
No, 2017 Notre Dame won. 2016 Notre Dame lost because I remember it was on CBS. They lost 28-27.
Yeah. I thought I saw 2017. I could be getting the years mixed up. But either way, the last 10 matchups, Notre Dame has ran away with this game. But
yeah.
The last time it was kept close, though, Jackson, Navy was able to pull off an upset. Do you think Navy has enough magic left to keep this a tight game, or do you think Notre Dame will run away with it early? Because that's going to be the key. Because if Ryan Leonard and company get up 14, 21-0, this game's over, I think. I don't think Navy has what it takes to catch up with Notre Dame. But if this game's close going to the fourth quarter, Notre Dame might be in trouble. I mean, history does say if this is a close game, Navy can pull off the upset.
I think I'm going to go with Notre Dame in a 24-17 victory.
You're right, Jackson. Because here's the problem. Notre Dame loses, they're eliminated from the playoffs, all in likelihood. They still might not even make the playoffs, even if they win out. Because Jackson, depending on who's ahead of them, they still may not make it. But if Navy wins, they're still alive.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time picking this, but I got to say, whoa, where are you scrolling to, Jackson? I got to get my pick first.
I know.
How many points is Notre Dame favored? 13.5? Ooh, okay. So even Vegas is telling us. I'm going to go Notre Dame. I'm going to go Notre Dame 28-13. I think they'll cover.
Yep. Well, this is going to be an easy one. Ohio State, Nebraska.
Wait a minute. You skipped Kentucky, Auburn, good buddy. We got to go later.
I know, but we got to do it in time order.
Oh, I thought that was a noon game. My apologies. I'm all out of whack. Okay, go for it, good buddy.
There we go. We got an easy one with Nebraska, Ohio State, and
Is it easy?
yeah, I mean Nebraska's gonna lose. They're gonna get their feelings hurt like they always do against top 5 opponents. I mean, they just do.
Jackson, let me ask you. You don't think Matt Rule could pull out a little magic and spoil the Buckeyes' hopes of a Big Ten championship
Not this
appearance?
week. Not this week.
Jackson, I don't think Nebraska. I feel like their defense could keep them in this game, especially from what I've heard and saw of Nebraska. Their defense is really good. Like they
Mhm.
weren't against Indiana. I'll give them that. They weren't against Indiana, but they can be at times. But go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead.
Mhm. Well, I feel like this is gonna be a 31-10 victory by Ohio State.
You know what, Jackson? I'm gonna go Ohio State 30-20. I
Yeah.
think Nebraska will get a couple garbage touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Game day coming to Bloomington. Jackson, I know you're a little upset, but we have to think of the positive of this.
I
Indiana's
mean,
getting
like
media coverage.
most weeks I would be, but in this case I'm not because because like Lee Corso coached at Bloomington at one point. He was the Indiana head coach.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like Jackson, this may be his last year at game day. And maybe they're trying to do this as a nice homage to him.
I mean,
I know
it
you
pretty
wanted
much.
them to go to I know you wanted them to go to Notre Dame Navy, but this may be their last chance to do it for Lee Corso.
Yeah. Cause like they know something we don't, I'm sure. But back to the game itself, what's been going on with Washington? What's been going on with them?
I think a lot of it is Jackson is is their new team. They're completely rebuilt. Y'all, Alabama took their head coach Kalen DeBoer, and Jed Fish is trying to figure out what works with this roster and what doesn't. And right now they're finding a groove. Their defense, Jackson, has been the strong point for this team. And Jackson, would you like to know their defensive coordinator?
Absolutely.
It's Steve. It's Steve Belichick, the son of legendary head coach Bill Belichick. So many people want to know why Washington has a defense all of a sudden. That's exactly why, right there. Because Steve Belichick, the son of Bill Belichick, I think I said that right,
Mhm.
is coaching the defense. And father like son, they love their defense. They're gonna make sure the defense is on point. And I feel like that's what's kept Washington in a lot of these games this year. And I think that's why they beat Michigan, to be all honest with you, Jackson. Because I feel like their defense just hounded them to death, and they just could never get nothing going. I know Michigan is kind of on the downward slope and everything, but you got to give credit to the Huskies defense. But Jackson, there is some important news in this game that we do have to keep in mind. Curtis Warwick will not play in this game. I don't
Nope.
know how much that changes your pick, but do you think Taven Jackson can do it? Because we saw a lot of him last year, and it did not look too appetizing.
No. But it really doesn't change my mind. I think Indiana's going to win this one. They'll find a way to win. And I think it's going to be a 24-14 victory over Washington.
You know what, Jackson? Give me upset special. I'm going with the Huskies. 24-20. Give me UW. I think Indiana, with the fact that Curtis Warwick is out, I think that's going to hurt them. And I think UW's defense is going to make Taven Jackson's life a nightmare to deal with, and he's going to throw a couple turnovers. I got Washington winning 24-20.
There we go.
Ooh. What was that wrong for, Jackson?
These two are sloppy. What has been up with Oklahoma and Ole Miss this year?
Okay, Jackson. So I think we understand what's wrong with Oklahoma. They got their 5 best wide receivers are literally all on the injury report. So it's like I don't blame any of that on Brent Venables. Like, he's doing the best for what he can, but they did fire their offensive coordinator, Seth Littrell. Is that how you say it, Jackson?
Yep, Seth Littrell.
And a lot of people thought he was the big issue. I think the big reason why, Jackson, is they need to decide who's the quarterback and stick with them, because they've been flip floppy. Jackson Arnold, Michael Hawkins Jr. Who's it gonna be? And it's like, and I feel like that messes with their confidence. Like, it causes these players to lose confidence in themselves. And as we know, Jackson, Ole Miss and big games sometimes don't always show up.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and the thing too is, Jack knocked Liberty out of there. Yeah. And I'll say this, Jackson. Do you think Oklahoma State, if they get healthy, you think they could pick someone off in the SEC? Because I know you talked about it this week with your co-host Johnny Burke and Zach Remulus about that. Oklahoma could be the team to pick someone off and ruin their playoff chances.
I mean, they could likely knock off Missouri, but that's pretty much it. Like, maybe Alabama, but other than that, I'm not liking this year for Oklahoma.
Well, let me ask you this, Jackson. Is Brent Venables on the hot seat, even if they go 8-4 and make a really good bowl game?
Unfortunately, yes, because this is SEC country we're talking here.
Yes, that's true. I forget SEC country is a little more harsh. And if being in Oklahoma, they have expectations. This isn't like going to Wake Forest or anything. This is Oklahoma.
Agreed.
So let me ask you this real quick, Jackson. Can Ole Miss still make the playoffs? Or did they lose any shot of that by losing to LSU?
Ole Miss has to win out.
So this game, so they still have everything in front of them. There's still a chance.
Yep.
So on Saturday, Jackson, is Ole Miss going to win?
Oh, yeah. They'll win.
What's your score prediction?
Probably, I'd say 31-17.
I'll go Ole Miss 38-20. We got a nice one in the ACC.
ACC.
Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech. I like it. And it's in Enter Sandman. It's on the ACC network at noon. Jackson, could we see Virginia Tech pull out some more home magic?
Yeah. Because Georgia Tech's not going to have...
Go ahead.
Yeah, because Haynes King, Georgia Tech's quarterback, is not going to be playing on Saturday against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, that changes my pick. I didn't know that. Well, now I do.
Yep. So that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Georgia Tech's running game, though, is dangerous. Their run game is dangerous. That could carry the day, but it's in Enter Sandman. And Virginia Tech, as we know, Jackson, is a dangerous place to play.
Yep.
Boston College experienced that firsthand. And honestly, Jackson, with the news of Haynes King being out, that's going to hurt them. And I think being on the road at Virginia Tech, I think it's really going to hurt them Saturday. I'm going to go Virginia Tech to win 41-28.
Yep. I think I'm going Virginia Tech 38-21.
Oh boy, the South's oldest rivalry on the CW, North
Whoa.
Carolina at Virginia.
This is gonna be a
Jackson,
pitiful one.
Jackson, is there anything Mike Brown could do to save his job?
Oh, he's
At this point, is
retired.
he just
Might as well just end the season with a bang at this point.
I mean, and Jackson, this was the CW game last year. If you all remember out there, this was a game North Carolina went into undefeated last year. And Virginia Tech spoiled their chances to go to the title game.
Oh
And
yeah.
how fitting is it, Jackson? They're back on the same network, but the roles are reversed. Because Virginia still has a chance, a slim chance to make the ACC title game. Slim. So could we see a reverse play this time and North Carolina spoil Virginia's season?
Oh yeah. Well, I think
Jackson, I do have to say real quick is North Carolina's defense is still bad, though.
oh, it's disastrous.
Like, good grief, Amani. But go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead.
But I think I'm gonna go with I'm not chancing it with North Carolina. I think Virginia is gonna win 21-17.
You know what, Jackson? I'll go opposite of you. Just for Mac Brown, I'll go North Carolina 35-31 in a shootout. And then we have Arkansas at Mississippi State. Ooh. Jackson, does Mississippi State pull off an upset and spoil Sam Pittman's job, or the Razorbacks keep it going?
Oh, Arkansas win that one. That'll be a cinch.
Jackson, that's what we thought about Vandy, Alabama, and look what happened.
I know.
And you're smiling, but deep down you're like, why did you bring that up? And we have a Jackson, we have a new viewer here, College Station Kid. Welcome aboard. Said, if y'all talked about the LSU A&M game yet? Not yet. That's going to be saved for last. Well, we got to save the primetime games for the good stuff. We can't. This is just the appetizer. We'll have the steak and stuff out later. And he said, no, y'all haven't. No worries. Okay. And he says, I think Mississippi State does. Arkansas is hurt, guys. Oh, a little upset special.
Interesting.
I didn't know Arkansas was hurt, Jackson. Who are they missing?
Missing old. Looks like they're missing a lot of guys.
Yeah, I didn't know they were missing that many. I thought they were relatively healthy. Okay, then. And then Mississippi State might be a good choice. And plus, Jackson, it is Sam Pittman. And he's been known to blow these type games, too.
Yup.
But you said, did you say who you thought was going to win this game?
I'm gonna go Arkansas 17-14.
Okay. Given Sam Pittman's history and knowing this is a game he should win, I think it'll be a close, low scoring game like you. I'll go 21-20 Arkansas.
Well, then we got Illinois and Oregon on CBS. Can Oregon last long as the number one team in the nation, or does Illinois upset them in Autzen Stadium?
Jackson, I've been talking a lot. You take this away, good buddy. Break it down. Go for it.
Well, we've seen Oregon. They just look like a national title team for some reason. This year looks like it could be the year. Last week we saw Illinois smacking Michigan. Like, can you believe that it happened? That was. I'm still just thinking to myself, that's huge. And
Here's the thing, Jackson. Michigan they're in pretty rough shape. In a normal year, you would be like, woo, let's celebrate Bielema party. But it's like, you beat a deflated Michigan team. I don't know how much stock you want to put into it.
yep.
And to a commenter earlier's point, last time Oregon was number one, it lasted a week.
Yep.
I don't think that Jackson is the pressure going to get to him. Is the number one curse going to hit Oregon? Or is Dan Lanning going to make sure that doesn't happen? Not on his watch.
I think Oregon is going to win 31
Whoa,
to.
whoa. Jackson, where is the analysis, good buddy? I understand, like, for these other games, but come on, good buddy. The people need the good, juicy stuff. Take us through it. Set the scene.
Well, we've seen Oregon, of
Like,
course. Like it's been, as our friend Only Talk Sports says, perception changes. And, the perception was Oregon's a sloppy team, especially after their victories against Idaho and Boise State. But everybody wondered, were they going to be that team that's going to fall apart, or were they going to win the big one? Well, they won the big one against Ohio State. And, College Station Kid already has his prediction. Oregon beating Ohio State really showed me something. I think they roll Illinois. Sadly, I want them to lose, though. But Dylan Gabriel, he's been a huge asset for the Ducks. I can tell you right now, Oklahoma is regretting letting him go.
Yeah, they're probably looking at that thinking, why? Well, Jackson, do you remember when the first week we started doing these and we did the Idaho-Oregon game and I was starting to panic and you were like, what did you tell me about that?
Told you not to worry. Like, this is week 1, not week 11. And besides, it doesn't automatically mean it's going to be the rest of the year.
No, but more importantly, Jackson, you told me they were saving their best stuff for whom?
Ohio State.
Because I remember, Jackson, you preached to the choir 2 weeks in a row when they had those 2 close victories. You were like, everyone needs to calm down. Oregon's not trying to open up their playbook because they don't want to give Ohio State anything on Bill. That's what you were telling me. You said, take these games with a grain of salt. And what happened? They opened their entire playbook up for Ohio State like you predicted. And now that Ohio State has passed them, I feel like, Jackson, their whole playbook's open now. They're going to leave everything out there. But we cannot overlook Illinois, Jackson. They have a top-notch defense. And the thing about it, too, is the problem with Illinois is, though, Jackson, is their defense is winning them a lot of games. But they don't have that receiver that really threatens your defense. And their run game is it's all right. It's not bad. But they really win a lot of their games off the back of their defense. And I feel like against Oregon, if you don't have at least a sustainable offense, it could really, really hurt you. But it's in Autzen, too. That's the problem. If this was in Illinois, I could think about an upset. But the fact that it's in Autzen and the Ducks are number one and Dan Lanning doesn't let the number one spot go to their head because he's that type of coach, I think Illinois is in for a long, long day Saturday.
Well, I'll be honest, Oregon's going to win this one 31-20.
Yeah, I'm going Ducks too. I'm going 42-17 Oregon. I think they roll.
Oh, no. Ugh.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes, Jackson.
No.
BYU at UCF.
No.
Do I hear the upset siren? Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
The upset siren.
We're not going to see unbeaten teams in the Big 12 title game, are we?
You're already preparing yourself for the worst, aren't you, Jackson?
Well, nobody's going to talk. We haven't heard anybody say a word about BYU Central Florida this week. Just means one thing. Central Florida's going to pull off some magic somehow.
Jackson, I was about ready to say, what do you always tell me when Central Florida plays a big game and nobody talks about it? It's upset special.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's why I'm just dreading this game.
Because, Jackson, I know you want to see Iowa State BYU play for the Big 12 undefeated. But, Jackson, UCF almost spoiled that last week, too, against Iowa State.
I know. That's what I hate so much about it. They almost screwed us out of it. And they're going to screw us out of it again.
Because here's the thing, too, Jackson. BYU has played quite a few close games this year. Like against Oklahoma State last Friday night. They were that close.
Yeah.
If their offense didn't make the big plays at the end, we could have saw an upset special last Friday.
God.
And the fact is, Jackson, UCF, as we know, their history, they're bound to pick up one upset. And Jackson, they haven't gotten that upset yet. And you know what that means, Jackson? We're getting closer and closer to the end. And it's almost like, come on, UCF. We know you got one magic win in you somewhere. And, you know, good buddy, I know you don't like to say it, but could this be the weekend? Is Gus Malzahn going to spoil BYU's dreams?
Yes.
What? Yeah. Go ahead, good buddy. Go ahead.
Central Florida is going to win 31-24.
Oh, wow. And College Station Kid says, BYU reminds me of K-State from a couple years ago. They just found ways to win UCF. Perfect spoiler, though. They always are. Like, if you hang around us long enough, Jackson will always tell you UCF is in every game. Don't care who they're playing.
Yeah.
But,
especially with Malzahn.
So you're picking
Malzahn-led teams always tend to spoil spoil things when nobody talks about them. Although there's some issues in the coaching staff, and one of the players, like he was going red shirt, but then it's like, no, I forget his name, but I know that spoiler alert, Tyler Whitfield, the new host of Florida Gators Live at Florida The Voice College Football, was talking about that with me, when we were filming tonight. But I will say again, I won't go into detail. I won't spoil too much, but that was one of the things we talked about. But Central Florida,
Mhm.
we're one. I hope BYU wins it, but I'm just not counting on it. I'm just preparing myself for the worst.
So you know what, Jackson? To avoid the curse, I'll pick the Cougars. I'll go BYU for you. You know what? I think they'll pull it out by their hair of their chinny chin chin. UCF will mess it up again. Gus Malzahn will mess it up. I'll go 38-34
Yep.
Cougars on the road in South Florida.
Yep. Then we got Northwestern Iowa, and I gotta ask, what's been going on with Iowa football?
Oh gosh. Here in a minute, Jackson. Dave Lindsey's gonna ask if this is the best the Big Ten has to offer. And to get ahead of that curve, if this is the best the Big Ten has to offer, we're screwed.
No, it's not. Because
No, Jackson. Dave Linsky likes to ask us, is this the best they have to offer? Every time. I'm getting ahead of the curve now. This is not the best they have to offer. I don't think.
well, I
I mean,
mean,
Jackson, if Iowa's the best
there's Penn
I
State,
think
Wisconsin, there's Washington, Indiana, and Illinois, Oregon. There's nothing to worry about.
it's a joke, good buddy, but I I think he messes with us, or he might be being serious. But anywho, back to your question, um, Jackson. I just feel like College Station kids in Iowa is a tragedy. They hang their hats on defense but can't play defense. They somehow have an offense but can't win game. Yeah, I know, right? Jackson, what is it that all of a sudden when Iowa gets an offense, their defense just goes down the toilet? Why is that?
What's gonna happen with Kurt Ferentz now? That's what I want to know.
You think he's on some kind of hot seat discussion?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I would say more like, does he need to retire discussion.
Okay. Kind of like Mac Brown. Need to walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, because I mean, he's the only active coach that was head coach in the last year of the 20th century. Everybody else has been coaching in the 21st century.
True. And Jackson, I want to make this known. I can't trust Northwestern. I picked them to beat Wisconsin, and they let me down. Like, and that's the thing. That is what is upsetting. Is like Jackson, I'm starting to buy into last year was a fluke for Northwestern. Like you've been telling me this whole time.
Yeah.
And it's just like the thing too, Jackson, is what do you always rag on Iowa about? Having no offense. They get an offense, and what happens? They got no defense now.
Exactly. It's like, what is happening with Iowa? Good God.
It's like it's like Jackson, that married couple, right? You critique one another, and it's like, oh, if you just do a little bit of more of this, it'll be perfect. And then they get rid of this habit. That's what Iowa is. Them and Kurt Ferentz. That it's almost like their marriage is going sour because Iowa fans are like, we need an offense, and Kurt's like, no, we can play defense, and that's all we need. And then Kurt's like, okay, we'll give you an offense. And then his defense is failing him. I mean, oh my gosh. Jiminy
Yeah.
crickets, Jackson. But
Oh yeah.
who you picking for this game, good buddy? Because I still
I,
have no clue. I can't trust either team.
Iowa will probably win 24-13.
I'm gonna say Jackson. I'll go Iowa 17-10 in a low scoring game.
Well, then we got Maryland, Minnesota, both of the teams that beat USC on Fox Sports 1.
What do you think, Jackson? Give me your breakdown on it. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I'm wondering which version of Maryland are we going to get? The one that made a comeback against USC last week, or the one that collapsed in front of our very eyes against Northwestern? As for Minnesota, it's like that USC win has given some life back to them. I mean, yeah, they won a tight one against UCLA last week. Still, though, both these teams are 2 wins away from bowl eligibility.
Yeah, and both coaches need this game because Jackson. Because let's be honest, Jackson, PJ Fleck and Mike Locksley both need this game. I personally, Jackson, I feel like whose seat do you think is hotter right now?
PJ Flex.
Okay, so you feel like Mike Locksley can get away with the losing season?
I feel like he can get away with sits and sits.
PJ Fleck basically, well, as you say, Jackson, winning cures all. And that's the thing. The winner of this game is going to make their fan base happy for a few minutes.
Oh yeah.
I'll go Minnesota 24-21. I think they'll roll the boat at home.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, good buddy?
It's gonna be Minnesota winning 28-20 against Maryland.
Now, this game right here, Jackson, I need you to go in depth because I want to know what's up with your boys.
Good God. Like we've just been a depressing team all year. It's like that Georgia game just went to our heads. Like we've been making some changes, like especially off field. You know, it's like don't be apparently we're just like running late to meetings, and now we're not, which I'm glad about that. And all I could say is playtime is over. If we want to make the playoffs in 2024, we got to beat Missouri. Then we got to beat everybody else. And
so for the rest of the, not to cut you off, good buddy, but Alabama's basically in a win in your end situation. They have to win out.
Oh yeah.
Well, Jackson, you did this to yourself.
What did I do?
No, I'm talking about your team, Jackson. You're an Alabama fan. You did this to yourself.
Oh man. Oh man. It's like, yeah. It's like no
That's
doubt
how that
about it.
works. Whatever the team does, we have to take ownership for because we're the fans. We take responsibility too. So, Jackson, you're expected to explain their actions, just like I am for mine. So start explaining.
Oh man, it's like we weren't on the field, but okay. But we're just giving our take. But I can tell you right now, it has not been a good year. I'm just wondering is this what the future is like, or is this just a one-off year?
Yeah. And College Station kid says Missouri's not good, guys. Alabama will destroy them. Well, and I would have given Mizzou a chance, but Jackson, as we have learned, we've got breaking news that Brady Cook is doubtful for Saturday, and their Missouri's running back is out for the year. He will not be in the Alabama game. He's out for the year. So that really puts a damper on Missouri's season. Like if there was any chance that they were going to beat Alabama, that just I think would bye-bye with that news. But the question is though, Jackson, what is Alabama going to blow it? Because we thought they didn't have. We thought South Carolina didn't have a chance, and what happened? You almost lost.
Yep.
And let me ask you this. I've been hearing rumblings, Jackson, that maybe Jalen Milroe might get benched with one more bad performance. Is there any truth to that?
In this case, I'm hoping we start the Ty Simpson era for a little bit, see how that goes.
So I've heard some rumblings, and I wanted to know, like, since you're the Alabama guy and you got your ear to the Crimson Tide, if that's like true or if that's just people trying to stir up stuff.
I think it's people trying to stir up stuff.
I got you. Okay. And Dave Lindsay says Bama should win. Missouri's overrated. Yeah, Missouri almost lost to Auburn. Like Jackson, I know you say Auburn's tricky and they always win that one. They're like UCF. They're the UCF of the SEC. They're
Oh,
they're
yeah.
that team. They play up and down to their opponents. Like this week, Auburn's playing Kentucky. They'll play down to them. But then when they play Alabama rivalry week, it'll be a slugfest until the end, no matter where it's at. And College Station Kid says, and yes, this is what the future is like. This is just what it's like as a normal college football fan. Saban was not normal. Roll will roll. What do you think about that, Jackson?
You won't have to tell me that. You'll have to tell the other fans that because they're kind of at the bargaining stages.
Yeah, one thing you'll learn about Jackson for our new viewers here tonight is he's a very good Alabama fan. He calls it how he sees it. Like, if he thinks they played bad, he will let you know. And if they play good, go ahead, good buddy.
We were very undisciplined last week.
And the thing too is Jackson's a very humble Alabama fan. As my family members like to say, he's the Bill Belichick of YouTube. He never gets too happy. He never gets too upset. He's the Bill Belichick. You might get a one-word answer out of him after they could beat LSU by 20, and he'll be like, on to Mercer.
Oh yeah.
But in all seriousness,
because when you
all
win,
seriousness though,
like, because my motto is
go
when
ahead.
you win, you can't be celebrating for the whole week. You can only celebrate it for the rest of the day and then move on the next day. If you lose, you can be upset for the rest of the day and then move on to the next day. Which I kind of treat it like everything in life, really.
But I will say,
because the way I look at it, if you get too celebratory about everything, it gets to your head a little bit, as we've seen with USC, and we saw it with Alabama after they played Georgia. Thank you, man.
That's a good way to live, Jackson.
I appreciate it.
Well, and you see, too, Jackson's an Alabama fan, so he's seen a lot of this. Me, on the other hand, I'll be lucky to see anything in my lifetime. I mean, seriously, I can't catch a break, but Jackson gets all the titles over here. But anywho, back to this game. How many points are you all favored, Jackson? Or is Missouri favored?
You see the spread? It says 16.5 Alabama.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Woo. Have they not been watching you all lately? Holy crap. 16?
Mm-hmm. It's too high. Too high.
I get that Missouri's missing their best running back and Brady Cook possibly not playing, but are they that much worse of a team? Even the way you all played. Like, good grief, Amadi. Phew. I would take the under on that. I would bet Missouri with the points.
Oh yeah, agreed. I mean, it's been a disaster for Missouri as well. Their offense has been like they don't have
I
any
know
of
they
their
won.
there. It's I know I said it was gonna be like a 31-24 victory on Monday for Alabama, but I think I could change up the final score a little bit after seeing these developments on Missouri.
Oh, hold on, Jackson. I know you want to get to the next game, but is Missouri that much worse without them two? Well, like I get it's at Alabama, all that good stuff, but is Missouri that bad without their cooking company? Like I'm being dead serious. I thought they were a pretty talented team. Holy moly! Okay,
They have not looked so good this season. They are
I
worse
know
than what
Cook is one of my.
they've been worse than what their record indicates. They look sloppy. They look terrible in their victory against Boston College and against Vanderbilt. We saw them losing the Texas A&M. They squeaked out a victory against Auburn. And it's not
College
the good.
Station.
Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check out Jeffrey. It only talks sports, and also don't forget to check out the Alabama Call-In Show, the third edition from Jeffrey and myself, where we will be taking your calls on Alabama, the Voice of College Football, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday night.
Jackson, what the? Listen here, Jackson. Are you going off script? I'm like, come on, Jackson. I'm gonna have to find you for that. Number one, young man, we don't go off script around here. Okay. Number
There's
two,
ad read.
Jackson. Number two, Jackson. Number two. Listen here, good buddy. We promote at the end, okay? Like number two, and then number three, we can't let it happen again, or else I'll have to sick bear the dog on you. I'm so sorry y'all had to see that, but Jackson got out of line. We can't have that. This is a professional show. We promote at the end. Golly. But yeah, and College Station Kid says they are talented but not deep, and they are a reflection of their coach, Paper Tigers. Yeah, good point. Good point. Well, Jackson, I already know your score, but go ahead if you want to improvise, and I'll give you mine.
Oh, I'm pretty much changing it to 31-17 now. Like, it's not looking so good for Missouri.
So originally, I would have said I was going to pick Alabama to win by field goal originally. But with the breaking news that we saw, I'm going to go Bama 24, Missouri 6. I'll go 24-6 Bama.
Nice.
I think Bama's defense will win the day. I feel like they'll get a pick six or something. Cover up the offense's mistakes. Oh gosh.
Ugh.
Do we have to talk about this, Jackson?
I'm afraid we do. I mean, I know it's on ESPN Plus, but I mean, we don't really know how long Dave Aranda's staying.
Jackson, you're lucky I like you, okay? Who else would I do this for?
For me.
And maybe Jeffrey and maybe family. But yeah, oh my gosh. Oh, I, I'm lost for words, Jackson, because what else can I say besides Oklahoma State just use Ollie Gordon and they should be fine? I mean, because like you said, Jackson, Dave Miranda, like you even said, it's almost like he can't save his job at this point, no matter how much he wins.
Unless he keeps winning.
Yeah, that's a big if. Has Okie State fallen this far? Makes no sense for them to be 0-4 in Big 12 play. Yeah, Jackson, this will give you a chance. I'll let you promote this, but go ahead, Jackson. You made a post on the Voice of College Football about Okie State. Go for it. Explain the rest. I'll let you do your thing.
I said they were going to be one of the 10 most overrated teams in all of college football in the preseason. And unfortunately, I was right. Because I wanted to be wrong about Oklahoma State. I wanted to see Ollie Gordon put up some huge numbers. But they've not been a good team this year, obviously.
You know. And Jeffrey says Baylor put up 59 points. Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there. It was against Texas Tech, number one. It's a team that I got fooled by. I'll personally admit it right here in front of everybody. I thought Texas Tech was legit. Boy, was I wrong.
Why do we always get the Big 12 teams wrong? I don't get that. Are we like Wile E. Coyote about to fall off that cliff? Like, good grief. Like, we're not. Oh, my God.
And Jeffrey says Texas Tech is 5-2. Listen here, Jeffrey. Here's the problem with Texas Tech. They look good. We thought, okay, maybe the Abilene Christian game was one thing, and then it's all of a sudden, and then they give up 59 points to a mid Baylor team. And even Jackson warned me. He was like, "Good buddy, Texas Tech is Joey McGuire." Jackson, you warned me. You even told me. You were like, "I wouldn't put that much stock in Texas Tech. I should listen to you."
Well,
that's my fault. I should have listened to you. You're the Bill Belichick of YouTube. I should have listened to you.
The Big 12 is full of mid teams. Yeah,
it is. I mean, he's right. I mean, be honest with you, Jackson. I mean, the only team that you can really make a case, not to go too far down this rabbit hole, that is Kansas State and Iowa State and BYU. They're like the three, and then maybe Colorado. And I know Jeffrey's probably thinking, of course you'd say Colorado, but it's true. Colorado's right there. They look good. They've shown promise. But anywho, he says it's tough to call when they.
State. Don't forget about Kansas State and Iowa State and BYU.
I did. I said them, Jackson. I said them first, but I said Colorado. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But College Station Kid says it's tough to call when they all play bad teams. It's just different levels of bad. Tough to judge. Agreed. I mean, Jackson, the Big 12 only does play a lot of bad teams. But to be fair, at least they don't have Cupcake Week. I mean, like the SEC and Big 10 do. Really, Jeffrey? Really? I'm done with you, Jeffrey. You're blocked. Get out of here. Anywho, back to this. Just don't even look at Jeffrey anymore. He's grounded. He's blocked. But anywho, we done got off track. What game are we predicting, Jackson? We done got an argument.
Texas Tech TCU.
Good grief. Well, I will say though, Jackson, TCU. What the heck kind of team are they? They went into Rice Eccles and they beat Utah. Like, Like, and I
It
get
was
no
enough.
Cam Rising.
It was enough for Andy Ludwig to resign.
Yeah. And Jackson, I get it. Yeah, mid. I thought we banned Jeffrey. Get out of here, Jeffrey. You're banned. Get
He's
out of
good.
here. No, Jackson, he's banned. I don't like the way he talks about Colorado. I got the power now. But Jeffrey, you talk bad about Colorado. I got the power now, good buddy. You're going to get it. Dictator Austin's here now. But anywho. Oh, Lord. We done got completely off. See, this is, if you love this kind of stuff, you're going to love us. I mean, me and Jackson, we go off the rails. We rarely get through a show without goofiness. But that's the charm of us. I'll let you pick this game first, Jackson.
Yeah, I'll go with TCU, and it's going to be 31-21 against Texas Tech.
Do I trust Sonny Dykes to keep the momentum rolling? Give me Texas Tech to win 42-38. A lot of Oregon State at Cal. Jackson, your favorite team, Cal.
Ugh, yuck.
Hey, Cal has hype, and we know it.
Oh man, I remember we heard a doofus spouting that crap out on the Voice of College Football a year ago.
Yeah, we did. We heard that.
Like I was right there in the room when I heard. I was like, I basically looked at Mark. I was like, please don't tell me. I was like laughing, just looking. I'm like, just please don't tell me he said that. But he did. But yeah, they don't know how to kick a field goal.
And Jeffrey says Cowboys every game. Yeah, I was going to steal one of Jeffrey's lines on that one. I was about to say Cal could be 4-2 right about now, 5-1 if they just knew how to kick a field goal and finish a game. I mean, the Miami game, they just get one first down, it's game over. They make the field goals in their other two games. I mean, we could be looking at a 5-1 Cal right about now. But as the old saying goes, almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And I gotta say, Jackson, what about the job Mike Bray has? Mike Bray is not Mike Bray. That's basketball. Trent Bray has done at Oregon State. What about that?
He's been doing pretty good. Although I'm still pretty shocked by the 2025 schedule because I see I see Oregon State, Washington State will play each other on November 1st, 2025, and on rivalry week. So that's quite a shocker. And honestly, I don't know what to do with that one.
The whole nation was rooting for them against Miami, but Cal blew it. They're dead to me. Yeah, you weren't the only one heartbroken that day, but Jackson, as we remember, Oregon State was left for dead. Jonathan Smith cleaned them dry, and a lot of people were expecting Oregon to take a real step back this year. I see some betting sites, Jackson, that had their win total at 2 games. Not even joking you. Had them winning just 2 games. That was it. That's how bad a lot of people thought Oregon State was going to be. But for Trent Bray to have them at 4-2 and 2 wins away from a bowl really shows that it wasn't as bad as. And Jeffrey says Oregon State's schedule hasn't been too hard, though. This is true. I get that. But I think a lot of it has to do, though, is if you don't have the team, it don't matter how soft your schedule is. We know that. We thought teams that had a soft schedule could run through it, and they end up going 5-7, and it's like, huh? For example, look at North Carolina, team we just got done talking about a few minutes ago. Their schedule was pretty soft, and they're sitting here at 3-4, might miss a bowl game.
Yeah.
Like, it just goes to show you got to have the players and have the coaches and stuff. But to this game, do I pick Cal or do I pick Oregon State? So I do like me some Cal, especially if it. And Jeffrey says UNC's defense just sucked.
I
Well,
like me
yeah,
some
that too.
Beavers. I like me some Beavers.
Go ahead, Jackson. What's your score?
Oregon State, 28-27. No, 28-24.
And College Station Kid says I also like Beaver. You know what, Jackson? I normally would ride the Cal hype train, but I think that's dead. So you know what? Give me the Beavers on the road, former Pac-12 pose battling it out. Give me Oregon State in a gutty 25-22 victory.
Oh yeah.
Well, we know who's going to win this game.
I wouldn't say that.
Don't tell me you think Vandy's got a shot.
Don't ever underestimate them. I learned the hard way.
See, even Jeffrey Jackson, I thought you would be with me on this one.
I know Texas isn't Bama, but it's just I kind of shudder at team like number 1, number 5 teams going to Vanderbilt on SEC Network at 3:15 p.m. It's like, but
Here's the thing, Jackson. Jackson, why is it Vanderbilt that you're all of a sudden questioning Texas? Every other week, you're like, oh, Texas is hot. Texas is going to win the Natty. Them and Oregon and maybe Ohio State. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I don't know if they can even beat Vandy now. You might be right. What the? Like, seriously?
Here's the thing, though. Vandy will bring their A game against a team like, well, I mean, they did beat a pitiful Bama team, but agreed, they're not that good. But it's just like Diego Pavia is pretty good, but he's not going to be good enough against Texas. It's just that Vandy game still kind of got me a little freaked out. It's like it's like watching a horror movie at this point. It's like, no.
Yeah, Jackson, Halloween night, instead of watching like I Know What You Did Last Summer or watching one of those spooky movies, we'll put on Vandy, Alabama for you to watch.
Oh God, Troy B's definitely high on something if he thinks.
Oh my God, Vandy wins in a squeaker 78-17. Oh my gosh, what do we?
What only? Oh man, it's a 5-star dummy.
Oh no! Oh my gosh, Jackson. Let me guess. Someone's going to comment here in just a second that Vandy's a juggernaut in the SEC.
No. But yeah, in all seriousness though, Texas will win this one 42.
Hold on, Jackson. We have upset alert in the chat. Woo, 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 woo. Sound the alarm. Woo! Upset alert time. College Station Kid says Vandy wins 21-17. Oh boy. I just got to say though, Jackson, what does it say about your team that the fact that you and Jeffrey both even admitted that Vandy isn't that good, but they beat you all? What does that say about you guys?
Says a lot more. It says a lot about us more than it does against Vandy. I agree. They did lose to Georgia State, but it's like they're not going to bring their A game against like a Georgia State or a Ball State. but they will bring their A game against an Alabama. And they're definitely going to see if they can bring their A game against Texas, but their A game's not going to be enough against Texas, fortunately.
I tell you what, Jackson. I tell you what. I'll pick first on this one. Save you the trouble. I'll go just for you, good buddy. I'll go Vanderbilt 58-0. There we go.
Oh God.
I'm being dead serious, Jackson. Vandy's going to handle this. 58-0. I have a feeling.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. Don't actually take me up on that. No. If Vandy wins 58-0, we have more problems. Vandy's going to win it all if that's the case. But all seriousness, joking aside, back to business. Let me get my business back. Okay. In all seriousness, though, I'll go Texas 37-17.
I'm thinking more like Texas 42-21. First half is going to be a little sloppy, but Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns will pull it off in the second half.
Okay. Well, I like it. We're both going Texas. Now, Jackson, if they beat Vandy, I don't want to hear that they're going to win the Natty, okay? I don't want to hear that from you.
Well, you know what's weird, though, is that at this point, like, Alabama's basically pulling for Texas to beat Vanderbilt. Like, because, like, what if I'm not saying it happened, but it's like, what if Alabama was 10-2, Vandy was 10-2? Like, my God, that would be a cluster. Oh my God.
The College Station kid says it's in Nashville. I don't know, guys. Texas isn't the real deal, as most believe. I've been trying to say that for months now. Jackson's the one you need to talk to because he's a Texas guy. He believes in him. I don't. I still don't believe in him. Like, I'm trying to get Jackson off the hype train while he still can, but he refuses to listen.
Oh, I know they won't be 10-2. Vandy won't be, but I'm just like, if they were, it would get pretty weird real quick in Tuscaloosa. But at the same time, the lesson is, if you don't want to be hoping for teams to win or lose, don't ever put yourself in that position. What was with 247 Sports reporting Ewers was sitting out the rest of the year? Oh yeah, they retracted it on Instagram. Like, somebody, their social media guy put it on there, and then he had to delete it.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he just got hacked or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, yours doesn't seem like that type of guy, but oh gosh. We got to talk about Florida State.
Well, it is the Florida State Miami rivalry we got to talk about.
Oh Lord.
We have to.
Jackson, I don't care what rivalry it is, good buddy. We shouldn't be giving them national attention. I mean, good grief. You're preaching to the choir, brother. Preach it, Jeffrey. Preach it. Say it to the whole world for me. Maybe they'll listen.
Honestly, oh man, it's like it's really hard to pull for either one of these teams, but it's kind of, on the other hand, I kind of want to see Miami in the conference title drought. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for that. But I feel like this game's going to be closer than the experts have it, because I know Miami's a 21-point favorite, but I don't know. This is one of those rivalry games where you take the records out.
And College Station Kid says, has there ever been a team that has fallen as far as Florida State from their previous year. It's kind of crazy. Jackson, I think there is one team that is it 2007 Notre Dame?
I've been comparing 2024 Florida State to 2007 Notre Dame since basically the end of Florida State SMU.
And Troy V says, I watched a little of last week's FSU game. That team has the look of a team that quit. They might not win another game. Yeah.
I feel
Jackson,
like
that's bad.
I feel like I somehow went to hell because I'm like watching that Florida State team this year.
And Jackson, and I gotta say this. Mike Norvell, he, Jackson, we're talking about all these coaches that are on the hot seat, including one coming up here in a minute. But Jackson, his seat is boiling hot. It's sizzling and on fire.
He'll be safe because of the money.
Like Jackson, I don't know though. Like we thought Jimbo Fisher was going to be safe, remember? And what happened? A&M was like, "Here, we don't want to deal with you anymore. Here." And Jimbo's like, "Okay, I'll just get my hot tub with my hot wife and have a margarita, living the good life." And it's just like I could see them being like, you know what, Mike Norvell, if we don't get this any better, we may just pay you all your money and send you on your way. Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And I know everyone's saying he's got a huge buyout. Jackson, how much is Florida State worth? Do you know? Like, how much NIL revenue do they get?
$65 million.
Oh, so that would be all of his buyout. Every revenue they earn, it would be gone with his contract.
Or 85% of his base salary. Yeah, 64. Well, yeah.
Okay.
I might have been off by $1 million, but it's still pretty bad.
He said, "Take it from me, Jimbo was bad news, but A&M has that oil money we can afford." That is true. I forget A&M's got money running out the yin yang. But yeah, I mean, is that 88 million? Yep, USC's. I mean, they are in California, Jackson, and plus they could probably afford it. They're in Hollywood.
Well, I mean, they're all moving out of there. That's the thing. They're all moving out to Atlanta or the Austin, Texas. So, I mean, and the Nashville. So, I mean, the Oakland A's moved out of California. The Oakland Raiders moved out of California.
Jackson, before you know it, all that'll be left will be the Lakers, Clippers, and Warriors.
The Clippers will move out of California. Nah, they won't.
They'll be the Las Vegas. They'll be the Las Vegas Clippers. See, but Jackson, see, that's how bad Florida State is. Now we're talking about California. Oh my gosh. Good grief, Florida State. Look, this game used to have respect. Like, seriously, Jackson, this game used to have respect. We used to pay it its proper respect, but it's broken.
God. Oh, my.
Jackson, I don't know if you saw, but Miami's having a blackout Saturday. They're wearing their all black jerseys and everything. So Miami's pretty pumped for this game.
Oh yeah, they'll have the they'll have the little turnover chain going. Like, come on.
Oh no, Jason, this is really. I just signed on, and you're bagging on FSU. Oh no.
Well, I'm bagging
Oh
on.
no.
Well, we're bagging on Miami as well.
Yeah, don't feel too bad, Jason. It's just you're a damaged team. We're trying to make light of it, trying to make everyone feel better because it's hard to talk about them in their state. I mean, seriously, what do you like? What can we say about Florida
I
State
don't
that they
think
do
the
good
state
right
of
now?
I think the state of California is going to have to sell off portions of their state to pay off Lincoln Riley's buyout. Agreed.
And Jeffrey says you could be Auburn. Oh, gee. Well, I'd rather be Auburn right now than Florida State. At least
Well, I
Auburn
mean,
looks competitive.
Auburn's the nation's best 2-5 team. So,
But to this game, though, Jackson, I mean, here's the thing. Could Miami, Jackson, they've been playing with fire. And here's the thing. The last 3 weeks, Jackson, they've survived some thrillers. Last week in Louisville, they survived the Hail Mary, no Hail Mary game against Virginia Tech. They went, Cal gave them everything they have, but they keep pulling these games out of the fire. Do you think, Jackson, we could see another one of them games again where Cam Ward takes them down on a field goal and wins it at the end or something like that, or Miami does just enough?
it's
Or you
gonna
think
be more.
FSU,
It feels
or is
more like
FSU just that booty?
It feels like Miami's gonna have another weird one, and I'm gonna go ahead and say 45-31 Miami.
I'm going to go Miami too, Jackson, but they pulled out a lot of weird ones. I'm going to go 27-24 Miami. I think Cam Ward is going to take them on a game-winning drive and break FSU's heart again.
Of course. Man, Neil Brown's in trouble. Agreed. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
top 10 teams don't allow 30 points from 1-6 Florida State teams.
I know. But as you said, though, Jackson, Neil Brown, ooh, could this be the end? Is the sun setting on his career at West Virginia?
Well, I mean, West Virginia's hoping it is because I know that there are some leaks that he's going to be done after this season.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Jackson, he's lost all of his big games.
I mean, because I know, like, our buddy Jeffrey was talking about the other day, like, the perception changes, and he cited Neil Brown as an example where West Virginia fans loved him one week, and then next week they were getting out the torches and pitchforks outside the sheriff's office for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, here's the thing, Jackson. And Jeffrey says Neil Brown is done if he loses this game. Let me be honest, Jackson. Do you think, even if they make a bowl game, do you think he'll even survive?
Oh, he's done.
Like, even if they make a bowl game, I'm kind of like with you and Jeffrey. I feel like even if he wins the bowl, it'll just be like, can you just go away, Shu, please? Say you're walking away or something, Shu.
Yep. You're right. You're right, Jason. Oh, they were a few weeks ago, but it's over for him.
Jeffrey says if they go 7-5, Brown stays.
I
6-6
think
is worse
West
than he's thinking.
Virginia, yeah, because 7-5 will be a lobbying session for 2025. If West Virginia finishes 8-4, then then he's getting that vote of confidence, including if they can get that bowl win as well. Which I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to be firing coaches after bowl games like they have been in the past, but we'll wait and see.
I got you. So Jackson, we'll hear him in a press conference being like, "Welcome back for the 2025 season, Coach Neil Brown."
Yep.
But I do gotta say, Jackson, West Virginia needs to hire Pat McAfee and go the Colorado route. Oh Lord, that could be a bad idea because Pat McAfee's a little out there sometimes. Heavens to Betsy,
Well, I
he'd be
mean,
getting in trouble every other week.
I just wonder if he'd still do the Pat McAfee show and College Game Day and in the NFL pregame show on NFL Network and WWE. Wonder if he can juggle all that.
I doubt it, Jackson. I doubt it. But I will say, what's up with Arizona, Jackson? They're very up and down this year. One minute they get a nice win over Utah, and then the next minute they lose. Like what?
They've
Go ahead.
been falling apart.
Yeah. I mean, they brought back Fafita and Trent McMillan, but it's like the other part of the team is not gelling like it did last year. And it's like with their new coach, Brent Brennan, it's almost like that magic they had with Jed Fish is gone. Jeffrey says Utah isn't a nice win anymore, though. But it's still Utah. I mean, you got to give them some respect. Like, even if it is a tainted victory, like, we still have to respect them because it is Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
But, yeah. What's your prediction for West Virginia, Arizona, good buddy? I'll let you go first. Does Neil Brown save his job?
No. Arizona wins a tight one, 35-27.
I'll go Arizona 28-24.
This has not been a good year for Utah or Houston.
Yeah, the Willie Fritz era is not starting as good as it did at Tulane.
Well, it's
Houston had
year.
Yeah, Jackson, Houston, I think he's got to rebuild them from the ground up. That's how bad they are.
Oh yeah, Utah will win this one. 27-17.
I'll go Utah 16-10.
Oh yay, better games. We got better games for Saturday night. We got Penn State, Wisconsin, and if I didn't know better, I would say this looks like a trap game for Penn State. I mean, Wisconsin,
And it's on
and
NBC.
and the lesson perception changes because it was like it wasn't that long ago where we were hearing people talk about, oh, is Lou Fickle even the right fit at Wisconsin? Are we sure about that? Are we sure about that? Seems all right to me. I mean, I know they haven't been beating great opponents, but they're 5-2 going into the Penn State matchup. And it really doesn't surprise me that, and they did smack Purdue, which I mean, again, you're supposed to smack Purdue. You smack Rutgers. Well, you're supposed to smack Rutgers. And you smack Northwestern, which I mean, you're supposed to. But Penn State, they're supposed to be the next best thing, right? They're supposed to be. But will they be? Does the next best thing create some magic at Camp Randall, or does
See,
Wisconsin pull it off?
here's the problem for me, Jackson. I would be confident in picking Wisconsin, but their quarterback that they got now, what's his name? I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Jura Lore.
No. Wisconsin's quarterback.
Oh. Their QB, Braden Locke.
Braden Locke. Okay, thank you. I thought I knew his last name, but the problem with me, Jackson, is Braden Locke. Thank you, Jeffrey, and you too, Jackson. The problem with me is how is he going to handle a big game environment? Because let's be honest, Jackson, like you said, they've really played the middle of the pack Big Ten teams. And it's like now they're playing one of the big dogs. They're playing one of the teams. I've seen, Jackson, some people predict Penn State might get the number 1 seed in the playoffs because a lot of people believe and they think this is the most special team Penn State's ever going to have. That they're going to beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten and get the 1 seed. That because the defense, and I got to give them credit. Penn State, they are looking really good. I mean, they made that incredible comeback against USC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I know a lot of people are going to say, well, the referees, screwed USC. I try not to get into that because, sometimes that could be a slippery slope. But Penn State has looked really, really good. They haven't really been, and Jason says that they definitely isn't a special Penn State team, but they are tough. No, I'm just saying the media is saying this is a special team, not me personally. Like, I would call them a special team. I would call them a good to great team because they have shown strides of looking really, really good. Especially that tight end, Jackson, number 44. That guy's a stud. Like I would hate to line up next to him as like a middle linebacker. Good grief. And Jeffrey says Penn State should have lost to SC and they struggled to beat Illinois and UCLA. Now, I can say for the Illinois game, Illinois is a good football team. I can give them a pass. And he said, look ahead to Ohio State. You know what, though? I don't think they're going to do that. Because to be honest with you, I think the big game pressure, Jackson, is going to get to Wisconsin. Like their quarterback, they haven't been in a big game yet this year. And I know people are going to say Alabama, but here's the problem. Alabama's not looking as special either. This is the thing about Wisconsin that scares me. Is are they going to be prepared? Are they going to be ready? Because Penn State's going to be. Because this is the biggest game of their season. Because they lose this, it makes next week all that much more harder. They're going to be prepared. And yes, Jeffrey, I know they only beat Purdue. Yes. I got it, Jeffrey. A win is a win. I mean, golly. And Jason O says they are finding ways to win when they might not have survived one of those close games in past years. True.
For me,
I mean, let's be honest, good buddy, not to cut you off, but what do you like, Jackson? Please tell me you're not buying the Wisconsin hype.
it could happen. I mean, trap game. I mean, Camp Randall, jump around at nighttime. It could happen.
I guess it could, but I just don't see it, Jackson. I feel like their quarterback. I just don't feel like he's ready for the big game yet. And Penn State's defense is going to go to town on him. And Penn State's offense won't have to do much because I feel like their defense is going to win them this ball game. And I get that. And I think that's why I said Penn State's defense will win this game for them. But I'll let you go first, good buddy. I'll let you go first.
I think Penn State will win a tight one, 24-21 at Camp Randall.
I'll go 23-10 Penn State. I think the defense will get a pick six or a fumble recovery, or their special teams will make a big play. I think Penn State's offense will look a little sloppy because I don't think they'll want to give their playbook away for next weekend. I do think that people are going to come out of this game saying, what happened to Penn State's offense? They're going to do what Oregon did and be like, we don't want to give nothing away. So I think it's going to be on the defense to win it.
Well, and then we got a huge matchup at Kyle Field between the LSU Tigers and the Texas A&M Aggies. That's
yes,
gonna be
we do.
game. That'll be a huge regular season game, of course.
Jackson, you stop that right now. You
Nope.
stop it. Jackson, don't make me. Jackson, don't make me. Jackson, you know I like you, and I love you like a brother, but don't make me tell you why Brian Kelly is going to win another big game. Don't make me do it. Like, Jackson,
He can win a big game the regular season, but he can't win the big one in the postseason. That's what really counts. They're the big ones in the postseason.
All right, Jackson, you keep pushing my buttons. When LSU wins it all, I'm going to come back and say, I told you so.
That's okay.
Like, you're pushing my buttons. You're pushing my buttons with that. But this is a big regular season game, yes. And if you don't know, Jackson is not a very big believer in Brian Kelly. And I am. I'm one of his bigger believers. Like, when it comes to a big game, Jackson and Troy Lee says Brian Kelly's a winner on the dance floor for sure. Yes. LSU won't win it all.
Yes.
I'm also not a believer in Brian Kelly. Oh, you all got to be kidding me. I cannot be the only one that believes in this guy around here.
Gotta look at his coaching record.
I mean, Jackson, look what he did to Notre Dame. He took them to the title game and took them to 2 playoffs.
They never won a playoff game. They got ass blasted in the playoffs, and they got ass blasted in the Natty.
Yes, they did. But think about it, though, Jackson. Think about it. When Notre Dame at that time is not the Notre Dame that we know now.
Does not matter. It doesn't
and
matter.
The fact that he made them.
You're talking about him like he ended that national title drought in South Bend. He didn't.
I hate to say it, but Brian Kelly finds a way to lose. Are you serious? Everyone's against me right now. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Lord. You know what? I got something. I'm going to keep these receipts. You just wait.
That's fine.
I got all these receipts ready. LSU won't win it all. Hey, Jeffrey, I wouldn't be so sure about that. In a year of chaos, I mean, this LSU could win it. Even Jackson would have to admit. I mean, Jackson, it could happen. We've seen a lot of strange things this year.
Wow.
And Jeffrey says, I don't keep receipts. Of course you don't, Jeffrey. That's okay.
I'll do one better, traveling fools. I'll do a better, traveling fools. Texas A&M, Texas in the SEC title game. That is because I mean, we're not gonna see Alabama in the SEC title game, so I might as well just wish for something for Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? I want Texas A&M have a rematch in the SEC title game.
Everyone makes bad predictions. What? This is not a bad prediction. LSU. Okay. Okay. Calm down, Austin. Calm down. You're pushing your buttons. Like, calm down. It's all right. Jeffrey doesn't know what he's talking about. Calm down.
Oh, man.
This is not a bad prediction. I've said this on record from the beginning. I picked LSU to win the SEC from the beginning of the year. You can even ask Jackson.
Yep, he did.
I picked LSU to win the SEC because I believe in him that much. And I even said it this past year. It might have been a bad prediction. Yes, but I believe in it because I feel you said Florida 8-4. Hey, that could still come true, Jeffrey. That could still come true. You never know.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Sorry.
Here's the thing, Jackson. What's more likely, Florida going 8-4, LSU winning the SEC?
Neither. I like my honestly. I like my chances of having a drink at the Long Branch with Miss Kitty than either one of those options happening. It's not gonna happen.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe. But to this game though, LSU Texas A&M. What a job by Mike Elko, Jackson.
Oh yeah.
You know, to revamp his culture at A&M, and the fact that he's got A&M playing really good football. And you remember, Jackson, at the beginning of the year when I asked you, do you think Mike Elko could turn this team around? And you told me maybe 3 to 5 years because the Jimbo Fisher stain is still going to be there. Well, what do you think now, Jackson?
Well, this game looks like a toss-up, and honestly, I want to see Texas A&M win, but what I want and what I know are two totally different things.
I mean, Jackson, Mike Elko has changed the culture at A&M. I mean, has that changed your opinion on him at all?
I'm hoping that Elko does a great job at College Station. I mean, I know he's had a pretty good first year so far, but I just don't want it to be like the past A&M coaches where they all get fired.
Uh-huh. Well, and the thing, too, I think that's important to remember about this game, Jackson. Yes, it is in College Station, and I understand people's concern about Brian Kelly in these big-time situations. He's known to lose one of them. Now, my thing about this, Jackson, that gives me great confidence is LSU has a really good offense. Can Texas A&M's secondary hold up against their receiving core, especially against Colin Lacey? Lacey, he Jackson won the Ole Miss game, and Garrett Nussmeier. You know, a lot of people were very skeptical about him, and he's kind of proved a lot of them wrong. I mean, he's been able to take charge of this team. I would like to see LSU run the ball a little bit better, though. That's my only concern. Take the crowd out of it. But as for Texas A&M, they played their hearts out against Notre Dame and came up short in Kyle Fields at night. And the thing about that too is Connor Wegman. You know, could Texas A&M, can they win a big game? Can Mike Elko win a big game?
That's the question there. Honestly,
Every time Austin says Jackson, you have to take a shot. Sorry, it's a habit. My bad. Apologies. Habit. Go ahead.
it's all good. But I think that LSU unfortunately win this one. They'll win a tight one, but oof. It's gonna be an LSU 24-21 victory.
Um, you know what, Jackson? I'll go LSU 31-21. I think they'll get it done. And Brian Kelly will put it to rest once and for all and tell Alabama.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, we got the 2024 edition of the Michigan State rivalry on the Big Ten Network. College Station kid, no worries. I'm pulling for Texas A&M all the way. Kid made
Jefferson
sure
A&M wins. Oh my gosh.
Michigan in a down period, of course. They've been horrible this season. Michigan State, they're coming off a huge victory over Iowa. And here's a little stat for everybody. Does anybody know when the last time a first-year head coach at Michigan led Michigan to victory against Michigan State in this rivalry? It was in 1948. 1948 was the last time that Michigan had a first-year head coach leading them to victory against Michigan State. That first-year head coach was Benny Osterbein.
Look at you, Jackson, going back to the 1900s.
Oh man, that was the year of the Harry S. Truman upset victory in the 1948 election.
Oh Lord.
And
I don't know why you know that, but that's scary.
Well, I mean, I'm supposed to. I mean, if I'm looking back at stuff that happened, if I'm looking at a team last time they won in, like, say, 1948 or 1946, I'm supposed to look at what happened in history.
Lord have mercy, Jackson. I think UMich guys play with emotion and get the win over Michigan State and Ann Arbor. I mean, here's the thing. Michigan State, they're going to be out for blood Saturday because of what happened to them last year, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me, Jackson, this reminds me of an old story I was taught when I was real young. Sometimes, how you see in the wildlife, where you see this poor, injured animal, right? They've got no life yet, no life left. It's on its last leg, and it's like, and it's just like trying to fight. But deep down in your heart and soul what the right thing is to do is to put it out of its misery. But you can't do it because you just can't. But deep down inside your heart, you just have to.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Michigan is at this point. They're that poor animal that's just like crawling across, and it's just like we just need to put them out of their misery, like for their own sake. And the thing about it too is they've been bad all year. I mean, we thought that the win that Texas got over them, we thought, oh, that's a good win for Texas, right? Wrong. And then Michigan State, Jackson, they've been up and down all year, like you said. They beat Iowa. They were hanging with Oregon there for a minute, and then Oregon's like, okay, enough playtime. We're putting this to bed now. And this is a very compelling game. And it's in Ann Arbor, too.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget to mention about 1948. That was the last World Series of the Cleveland Indians. They have not won a World Series since. But yeah, if Michigan can win this game, all this talk of Sharon Moore being on a hot seat, which I mean, I gotta be real. It's kind of stupid to be talking about hot seat in first year, but oh well. I guess that's the way the
I know
world
Michigan.
goes.
I know some Michigan fans, Jackson. They're fed up. They're like, we're done with him. We don't care what we do the rest of the year.
It's like I even heard like one or two guys saying, "I hope we lose the rest of the year so he'll get fired." It's like, why would you want to freaking tank the year? It's like, good God, don't you want to have a better
Yeah,
year? Like, oh my God.
Jackson. I never thought I'd see Michigan get to this point, but here we are. And Jackson, this is what happens. I feel like Jackson, they should have went out and got a quarterback. But as we've heard from our guys at the Voice of College Football, TJ Ron and John D'Adamo on Michigan Live and Michigan Post Game say Jerome Moore was a little too cocky with his quarterback room and thought he had it figured out after JJ left. So, oh gosh, Jackson, 2023 was the last time
So,
Bama was relevant. Oh, traveling fools. Oh my gosh. If Jackson was a not nice guy, he would have some awful things to say about your Hurricanes right about now.
it's all right. I know he's having some fun. Man, it's all good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, the last time Miami was relevant was 1966 when The Rock played for him. There we go. I got him good for you, Jackson. Even though I don't think The Rock played 96, I think. What year did The Rock
man,
play in Miami?
well,
Hold
they
on.
played it. They played in '89.
89. Yeah, that was the
And
last time
he
Miami
played.
was any good.
My mistake. He played 1991. So I mean, he was on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played in the '90s.
And Travis Fultz is 7-0. Yeah. And beat us, so I better hush. For Jackson, talk smack to him for me. I can't say anything because we lost.
This is all good, but yeah, the
And Jason O
Michigan
says
State game.
they probably shouldn't hire Jerome Moore, but it's dumb for him to be on the hot seat in year one. What did they expect? Replacing their coach with a rookie head coach and a QB at the same time? Agreed. Like, what do you think about this, Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, it's if you're firing your coach after 1 year because you're pissed off and throwing a fit at the grocery store, honestly, you're not promoting stability when you have that kind of attitude. Like if you're firing your coach after first year, it better be because the players aren't doing well in school. The players and the coaches are messing around with the secretaries behind their wives and husbands' backs or something like that. Because if you're having that kind of culture, or if you're like snorting cocaine and shooting up heroin on the field in front of the fans constantly, then I can see where you're talking about firing a coach after his first year. But
It'll
if
be.
you're if you're just rebuilding, come on. I mean it.
I
Oh my
think.
God.
I think it's interesting, Jackson. But to the Michigan State Michigan game, and then well, this has been a wacky night, all over the place. You know what, Jackson? Michigan's at home. Even though Michigan State's defense, I think, is legit because they picked off Dylan Gabriel, I believe, 3 times. I still think Michigan. I still think they're going to own Little Brother Saturday. I'm going to
Mm.
go 20-17 Wolverines in an ugly game.
Well, I believe history will be made for the first time since 1948. And we will see a first-year head coach at Michigan lead Michigan to victory in a 21-17 victory over Michigan State.
Okay. I like it. We're both picking the Wolverines. Don't let us down. If we have to come on here Saturday night and talk about you blowing it to Michigan State, I may blow a gasket live on air.
Yeah. Oh, man. Shoot. One more thing I got to say about 1948. I believe there's like a James Cagney movie that was out in theaters. I'm not. No. That was 1949. It was that White Heat. It was that
And
White.
Jackson has disappeared for just a second.
It was that White
about
Heat
Jack?
movie that where he was like yelling, "Made it, ma! Top of the world!" Like, oh my god, that was so funny. But yeah. Next time I find something that hasn't happened from since 1949, maybe I can pull a GIF of that clip or something. But we
Okay.
got Auburn, Kentucky. Auburn, the best 2-5 team in all of college football. But
And the best 3 and 4 team.
Oh
I
man.
don't know. Jackson, this is like trying to trust the Penguin and the Joker in this game.
Oh god.
Good grief. This is basically what this game is. Do you trust the Joker or the Penguin more?
I trust Kentucky more. Wait.
So you're
Who
going
would be the
Cats?
Joker in that scenario?
Probably.
There it is. That. Thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate it. It's like, damn.
Okay. That's enough 1984 history. We're in 2024.
1948 history.
Okay, Jeffrey, that's enough 1948. We got to run through these things here. We still got a lot of games left. I threw us off track.
Who would be the Joker and the Penguin for Auburn, Kentucky?
I feel like Kentucky would be Penguin and Auburn would be the Joker because they're mentally unstable. Like you can never trust Auburn. But
who would be the Harley Quinn for Auburn? Like that's what I want to know. Like, excuse me,
Mr.
J.
I have no clue, Jackson. But
Holly,
give me Cats at home.
Holly, you're the greatest.
Oh gosh, give me Kentucky at home. I'll go Kentucky, Jackson, 26-23. What about you?
I'm gonna go Kentucky 20-17 in overtime.
Of course, like we need to see extra of that game. Good gosh,
I
feel bad for people who are gonna
feel like we're being tortured watching Auburn, Kentucky.
The Sunflower Showdown on ESPN2. I'm sorry, but Jackson, you're
okay.
Jayhawks.
It's okay. It's okay.
I got Kansas State winning this one.
I know.
31-23. I think it's a rivalry game. They'll keep it close.
Oh man, like Mark Rogers was like sending me a text of a scenario that he found from Locked On Big 12 where he was like, "How crazy is this?" About where Locked On Big 12 was talking about a scenario about Kansas State and Iowa State playing each other in 4 straight matchups where
yes,
they play each other in the
season
finale. They play each other in the Big 12 title. Then they play each other in a playoff game. And then they start off 2025 in Ireland. I mean, the thing that's crazy to me is they're starting next year in Ireland. Like, that's nuts. But Okay, I mean it's their little dance, I guess. But me, just to put Kansas State to bed, I'm gonna go Kansas State, 38-17. Sorry, Kansas. It's okay.
Sorry. And
It's
then
okay, Kansas.
I
It's okay.
go to bed.
It's okay. It's okay, Kansas. Mwah. Then we got
But
SMU
a big
Duke. We got that. This is an exciting one.
yes, it's a swing game in the ACC. The winner of this is still alive for the title game, and Jeffrey's picking SMU. Jackson, you can pick first, because I have a feeling I may shock you with this pick.
Let me guess. You're gonna pick Duke with this one because I'm gonna go with SMU.
Jackson, do you know me well or what? Give
Yeah,
me the Duke Blue Devils.
that's what I
Give
thought.
me man. Give me Manny Diaz and Duke to shock the world again. Give
Man,
me Duke. They're the dark horse. Duke 30-28. What's your
so,
score?
oh man, for me, it's gonna be SMU winning 38-24.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh
Jeffrey
man,
is because that's me. I don't hold
Colorado,
grudges. I don't hold
Colorado,
grudges.
Cincinnati.
I don't hold grudges, Jeffrey. I could care less. I'm on the Duke hype train. Woohoo! Go Dukies! Here we go. Here we go. Jackson, let me take it from here, good buddy. You've done a good job, but let me relieve you. Because look, I got the perfect thing, good buddy. I mean, we're talking about primetime Deion Sanders. He's the man on campus. He's going to lead Colorado back to relevancy. He's going to lead Colorado back to the national championship. If he has anything to do with it, he's going to lead them to the Big 12 title game. He's going to lead them
Oh
to
yeah.
the highest grossing in TV revenue. Like, Jackson,
Oh yeah.
you just got to get used to it, Jackson. Primetime's here to stay.
Okay.
Because it's prime time. Something time to grind. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm done now. Go ahead, Jackson.
Well,
I zoned out. What happened?
do you know the last time
Did the
Colorado
Cowboys win the
and
Super Bowl?
Cincinnati played each other? 1972.
When was that?
It was the last time they
Oh,
played each other in Boulder, Colorado. Things that happened in 1972. Well, All in the Family was the number one television show in all of television. Um, let's see. We had Nixon running for a second term. And then we saw The Godfather come out in theaters. Al Pacino made his big break that year, and Marlon Brando got his career revived, if you will, at that time. But I can tell you right now, Colorado Cincinnati is going to be a huge one. And oh man, I can't believe like the last time they played each other, Boulder was in 1972. Like, good God.
Jackson. And the interesting thing about this, if Colorado wins, they're going bowling.
Well, yeah,
So,
they both will. Holy crap, that's the only matchup. That's the only time they played each other prior to Saturday night.
so who you picking, good buddy? I'll let you go first.
Colorado.
Since you probably know my.
Colorado 38-17.
I'll go Buffs 42-21.
Oh, and finally,
And Washington State.
Yeah, Washington
They're
State
going to mop
won.
the floor.
Yeah, I mean, future Pac-12 game. I can't believe we're calling it a Pac-12 game. I mean, you want to stay up till 1 a.m. watching San Diego State, Washington State? Oh, hell, we're doing it anyway with the final whistle.
It might as well. I mean, it won't hurt. But you know what, Jackson? it was Jackson. We had a lot of fun tonight. I mean, we made a lot of crazy picks. I mean, we had a fun time. But Jackson, I think it's time for us to share with the people something very special. And you know what that is? Is that we have big things in the works. I mean, you're working, Jackson, for the secret Hollywood people. You're going to be a movie star. I mean,
I
me on the
wish.
other hand, I'm just going to be a little peon over here. So, but Jackson, just remember me when you get the Kardashians and stuff, and you're doing all this great stuff, Mark Rogers. Just remember me. But it
I
segues
don't want
great.
whatever. I don't want whatever nasty stuff them Kardashians got. No, it's like they're nasty. I don't want
But
whatever mess
Jackson,
they got on their bodies. That's a no.
You want to know what's not nasty and what is beautiful is the
But
Alabama voice of college
They
football.
got P Diddy stuff all over them. It's like I don't want that mess all over me.
Jackson, I'm trying to promote Alabama
God,
here for you. Hold on.
sorry.
I'm trying to segue for you. But if you want something that is beautiful and that looks good every time you look at it, go look at the Alabama, the voice of college football. And matter of fact, go look at them tomorrow night because they've got a call-in show. They'll talk to you. If you want to talk about Florida State, heck, they'll even talk. Jackson and Jeffrey, even on their call-in shows, they'll talk to you about LSU and if Brian Kelly can win it all if you want to. Now, they would prefer you not because that upsets them. They're Alabama fans. But they will talk to you about it. Heck, they'll even talk to me about Colorado if I call in. But more importantly, you should go check them out for Jackson and Jeffrey.
Yep.
They do great work over there. And Johnny. And let's not forget Johnny Burks. How can we ever forget him? He's out there teaching the world, the kids. He's brightening our education. But Jackson, tell the people all about this channel and how they could support it.
Well, Johnny and I bring you our takes on Crimson Tide Live every Monday afternoon, 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, on our takes on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
No.
Well, she's a hell of a lot better than Kardashians. I mean, anybody's better than that bunch. But anyway,
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Bad promo time. Go ahead, man.
Anyway, but of course, Jeffrey and I will be host. But also on Thursday night, Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports and I host the Alabama Call-In Show on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where we take your calls and your takes on the Alabama Crimson Tide. We don't care that you're a Bama fan, an Auburn fan, Tennessee fan, LSU fan, Vandy fan, Indiana fan, Louisville fan, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, Notre Dame. We don't care what team you represent. You are welcome to come on in and talk to us about your take on the Alabama Crimson Tide. And also, I've got my next episode of the Jacksonian set for release at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on X and on YouTube with the new host of Florida at the Voice of College Football for Florida Gators Live, Tyler Whitfield, where we go over our take on the Florida Gators, Billy Napier, and so much more. And you can also give me a follow on Jackson Johnson 543908 on Instagram and Threads, where I just give updates about the Jacksonian and Alabama at the Boys College Football and some more of my adventures. Tune in. Austin,
Yes.
what have you got going on your adventures?
Well, Jackson, if people want to find me, they can find me here on Sports Talk with Austin 2002, and they can find me on Twitter or 1980 2639. Tomorrow I'll be watching the Nuggets tomorrow because NBA's back. I'll be watching that. I'll be watching a little Syracuse Pitt. But I'll be giving updates on the Nuggets Thunder, seeing how that's going. So if you go through my Twitter page, you'll be seeing a lot of Nuggets updates, and little everything here. But I'll be here Saturday, of course, with Jackson. As soon as every game goes final, I'll be here. So will Jackson, and we'll be having fun like we always do, or at least we try to. I mean, if Jackson starts ranting, I can't help that. I mean, he recently, he's married to 6 women. I mean, he can only do so much. I mean, just is like, and like Jason O said, the honkatoo girl, or however you say that, honka talk.
Oh yeah, bring it that hot tour.
No. Oh Lord. What a mercy. But yeah.
I wonder the Atlanta Hawks will bring out that hot tour this season. That's all they gotta do.
But yeah. This is my adventures though. But it was fun tonight. Can't wait to do it again Saturday. As soon as LSU Texas A&M is over, we'll be keeping you up to date on Colorado, Cincinnati as we do the final whistle. Oh my gosh. What has this become?
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh. On that note, Jackson, I think that's enough internet for tonight.
This is what happens when you stay up at 3 a.m. on the looking, scrolling through the internet. I think our parents warned us, never stay up at 3 a.m. because dark stuff happens.
Exactly. Like, we were just trying to talk college football, and this all of a sudden turned into to something. But you know what, Jackson? I think we should get off of here before YouTube gets us both banned. So, with that being said,
it is dark in October. And it's
okay.
only after 3 a.m. where you're at.
Oh my gosh. Of course you'd say that, Jackson. Of course. But without further ado, we bid you a goodbye, a good night, and I guess, adieu. And go Cards, everybody.
Roll Tide, go Cards, and give out that hot tour. Spin on that thing.
Oh no. Oh no.